all being gathered.
Yep.
So the first group of people to arrive would be Kevin and Nia.
Did Yesla come?
She wasn't invited.
Yeah, but did she come? No, she wasn't invited.
That was stopped, yes.
Did Kevin ask them to come?
Probably.
Then yes, you would.
I can't have nice things.
Okay. Next would be the people on the ship. So Leuven, Naya, Little Nia, T-Rain.
She has a name. Or they have a name.
Little, yeah?
Yeah.
Is that a name?
Yes, the child has a name, Sabo. Thank you. We're not calling you child number 1.
Or chalice charge.
Why would you not call it child number?
Chalice charge is actually a really funny name idea. Fuck, why did I think of that?
Chalice.
Naya, the Nia Naya spawn number 1.
Oh, nah. Nia,
The Na
Noah,
spawn.
Nua.
The Na spawn 1. I like it.
Yeah.
Okay. And then the others from the ship are brought in.
Cool.
As the last person's brought in, you are all asked if this is everyone.
Is Leuven here? Oh, T-Rain. Or T-Rain, I guess.
T-Rain was brought in.
Then yeah, I think that's it.
Just so you know, Kevin, both of your apprentices were brought in as well.
Perfect. Yeah, as long
Yeah, I
as
figured
there's no
they
one
also-
obviously missing, then yes.
Yep.
Kevin would know who everyone on the ship would be and would look for them.
Nia has attachments to some of them.
Everyone is there.
Na 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 na.
Alright. We are going to need you all to select between 1 and 3 people for negotiations. Take as much time as you would like. Decide amongst yourselves.
What are we negotiating?
I'm going to fill everyone in on a situation that we
Better question, what are we after?
no. Well, I think that you had a great idea that we should cash in on this find with our friends here. And while personally, I thought it would be even better if we could cash in for being able to eat some of that apple. The fact
Yes,
that
of course.
the country really wants to wait 300 years until they're fully matured, or however long it will take, kind of throws a wrench in the works.
I
And,
would like to request that the negotiators consist of myself, Torain, and one other person of your choosing. I believe between myself and Torain, we have good persuasion skills, and then
Well,
I would usually choose you or Nilvarius, but I'm assuming there's a reason you didn't solicit yourself.
let's put
And-
let's put it this way. The reason why we didn't decide ourselves is because I didn't want to choose something that everyone here is quite against.
All
And
right.
we already had a difference in opinions, so we should decide between ourselves what outcomes we're happy with, and then I have no
I
issue happening.
would like to put two things into question. The first is that, all due respect to our negotiation partners here, I believe we are getting the short end of the deal in this situation. I
Current
do not
offer.
enjoy the way that these negotiations have been handled by the opposing parties.
Hey, why do you think so?
We are the one. I do not mean to be presumptuous, by the way, but they do not fundamentally. They do not have the location. Correct? That's something we have.
That has not been shared with them yet.
They are essentially saying, well, the moment you came here to trade with us, you have given up your right over this, and I do not believe that is exactly ethical. Furthermore, they are asking us to take a bet on both their abilities to keep this protected for 300 years and their continued existence for 300 years with no real offer aside from that.
They aren't the ones who asked for.
Yes, that's what I was going to bring up. It's not like they're asking for that. That is just
No, but the way, sorry, I'm basing this assuming Sabot gave me perfect information on what I heard from the debate last time.
yes,
which is
but the perfect information, that is not what happened.
No, yeah, I didn't finish my argument.
Okay.
The reason she's saying this is because they instantly said we cannot allow anyone else to have the power to create the Demon Lord, and also said we want that power. And they said it is a great concession to let you have 25% of that power. Is that correct? They do not They do not get to act as if they are entitled to something they do not yet have negotiated for.
Okay. Yes, they do. They can. I agree on the first point that theoretically they're not being very nice by dictating terms, but on the other hand, while them not being very nice, there's nothing wrong with them dictating what they would be considering fair. Once we told them that we want part of the apple, then they said no. The only way this is going to happen is if we wait 300 years.
Yeah,
and then
but they
we
also
eat a slice.
literally said, the moment you became negotiation, it became our property. Now we're trying to compensate you. That's not how negotiations work. That's the part I'm taking issue with.
That issue, yes, I agree.
I don't like the way they are handling these negotiations. I don't like as if they're acting as if your request to have part of the apple is presumptuous of your part, rather than not something they're willing to. Yes, they did. James, correct me if I'm wrong, but that is something they kind of implied, correct?
So to elaborate further and give context, in your dealings with these people, it has always been you do something for them, and then you get a reward for it. It's not been, in your experience, fair compensation. It has been, we work for the nation, and then the nation rewards us. That is how they have approached this. You have brought them this great piece of knowledge of where this tree is. This is a great weapon that you have provided to the nation. Now we're deciding on your reward.
The reward should be at the very least proportional to the weapon they're getting.
Well, we did not tell them where it was at. We just told them that we discovered it. We didn't give them any indication.
You've not given them the location, but that is what they're expecting you to give them.
Yeah.
Yes,
And then
but
the next thing
is...
for your reference as well, Nia,
yes?
Nelarius wanted to actually cut it down now. He didn't want it to actually mature because the kind of damage it would actually do to the
Oh,
the
Nia
environment
agrees with you.
surrounding the area. He wanted it to be cut down now, and he was expecting that they would actually do that. Instead, they wanted to actually let it mature, and so Nelarius is horrified about the possibility of humans being given.
But this... she's not considering that quite yet. At the moment, she's just, hey, I think we're getting scammed. And after she's done not getting scammed, she's gonna go, oh my god, that's horrifying.
Okay, so how about, since we have to select 3 people to negotiate, we focus on what we want to negotiate for, and
I
not
think we should get
on
monetary
whether or not we're getting.
compensation as well as a portion of the apple if we want to go for that.
Okay, I
I think that's only
agree.
fair.
I do. I'm assuming that any kind of monetary compensation will be taken from the share of the apple in the future. I do not personally care what the share is. I think we should at least have half straight away. Maybe more.
I understand why they wouldn't give us half.
I mean, half of what they're giving us in money is what I'm saying.
Ah, I see.
I personally think that the 25% that they're willing to give, considering that they then are going to commit to protecting it for 300 years, is fair. The only reason why we can't keep it for ourselves for 300 years is,
we don't feel like it.
Well, even if we want it, there's basically, we realize that there's almost no chance that we manage it.
Is there no chance we can just stay there for 300 years?
So you're betting that in 300 years, no one will randomly come across the street and decide, why don't I blow these fuckers up?
That is true.
I'm betting that right now it's been like 3 to 4 years or whatever, or maybe 5 or 6 years since the last shifting or the conjoinment of the sphere, whatever it was, the event collapse. And perhaps we're not the only ones who have come across it. It's just that we are in a position where we have an ally who can stand the chance of securing it for a long time.
While that is a powerful thing for us, it is a bet on many levels.
Yes,
and I think that should be considered.
Yes, I think that it makes little commit to waiting for 300 years. It was not my original intention either.
I am very steadfastly in favor of the group getting rewarded proportionally to the value of the weapon we're providing them. I understand that 25% of the fruit in the future is a very large, so to speak, reward, but it is also a very great assumption.
Yes, exactly. So we should ask for example, 10% of the power once done, and the other 15% in compensation now, or should we go for all now? I think we should not go for all now, as that really doesn't put a lot of faith in.
I agree. There's a level of value to even the potential of this fruit. It's just,
I mean, I don't know about the rest of you guys, but 300 years is a long time.
Yes, it is.
I'm not expecting to necessarily get it in 300 years.
So, you guys do realize that, I am almost certain I won't be here in 300 years.
Well,
It's
considering
cute to think I'm gonna let you die.
how much difficulty you have dying, I think you're the one who will be here in 300 years.
The highest probability of anyone being here in 300 years is Navarius, and that's literally it. Well, actually, you're a dwarf. Dwarves live a long ass time too. So Kevin might
Don't
survive.
forget we're all
I'm sorry.
Celestials.
Yeah, we don't exactly know how celestial age thing works. I'm actually curious, but sorry.
You know,
I mean,
the only person I'm betting on being around in 300 years is T-Rain. I'm not sure how, but I've got a feeling he'll pull it off.
I have faith in him. But I'm a bit offended you're not betting on me. I am really good at not dying.
Before that, you'll somehow manage to get yourself killed before Kevin will.
You underestimate my power. Not to knock out my skill, but to not live besides that.
Do you guys realize that Kevin's
children will inherit the power?
Nia, Sabo, both of you understand my concerns.
Yes.
Ultimately, I don't seem to be able to persuade them. So I will step out of this, and you two obviously should be part of it, and you can choose who
the
your
problem is
third
that I
member is actually
agree
going
with
to
you,
be.
but I don't think there's any way for us to persuade them against this.
You are much better with your words than I am.
Well, why don't we put it this way? Let's our preferred choice would be to would be for the nation to be finding a way to consume these apples within a reasonable period of time and then sharing some with us.
Yes, that would be ideal.
However, if they're not willing to do that, which is what it sounds like, then we would not.
The problem is that we can assume they will take
now.
hostile action to escalate against us if we choose to decide to blow it up and leave. And we cannot do that anything against them.
Exactly. That is why, and that is one of the reasons why, even though I don't necessarily expect all of us or any of us to be here in 300 years, we should not, as a show of faith, we should keep at least some stake in the apple.
Frankly, Nilvarius, I believe I owe you an apology.
For?
When I suggested we contact them, I did not consider they would be so against destroying the apple. I thought that anyone would share my views that the apple should be consumed immediately. I failed to consider for this.
Your apologies aren't necessary. I also made that mistake.
Yes, but nonetheless, I feel a level of responsibility over it.
And we all made this choice. So we are in agreement to the course of action?
Ultimately, I do not believe we have much choice in the fate of the tree at this point, not until we are more powerful, anyway. So yes, I believe that is the best we can do. Also, Sabo, I believe we should keep 15% of the apple and take 10% in money, but negotiate accordingly to the money that they will, so to the approximate value of the apple once it is grown, because a potential demon lord is unfathomable.
Well, you have to keep in mind that that unfathomable takes unfathomable effort to achieve as well.
Correct.
But yes. So, I've Rain, did I say?
Incidentally, would Kevin have told anyone that Terrain likes it when we call him by his actual name? I know that sounds simple, but I don't think he actually considered it until this point.
I'm sure, like, basically every time that you guys call him T-Rain, he would just correct you and say Terrain.
Okay, I feel like Sabo has actually stopped calling him by the wrong names as well. So if I'm calling him wrong now, it's not on purpose.
I'm pretty sure Navaris would have
never-
pronounced his name right, considering the fact he could probably pronounce beholders' names correctly. So yeah.
It was
Nia was honestly just saying because you thought it was a nickname. I genuinely meant it to like, hey, this guy's part of our crew. He gets a cool nickname, you know.
was
I
never on
don't think
purpose.
Regardless.
But anyway, yeah. So it's terrain. That the correct way to say in the name?
A
terrain.
Terrain, just like the terrain on
terrain.
the valley. I don't know.
Okay.
Yeah, he's my favorite terrain.
Okay, so terrain, Nia and myself, or Kevin. Yesla, be quite quiet, usually opinionated.
Looks at Yesla. That's nothing. Just
I'm really putting no stake in me being here because in the 300 years, because I'm on my 9th life with an average lifespan of 2.5.
So you want to provide this nation with a resource that can be used for mass destruction and the conquering of the world.
I'm not saying we want to provide them. It's not exactly ours to provide anyone.
yeah, so we made a terrible mistake, but it is no longer possible to easily fix, and we must act accordingly.
She gestures to herself from head to toe.
Nia looks profoundly unimpressed, and then continues. It is no longer possible to fix it regardless.
Isla, you understand what I'm trying to say, right?
Oh, I agree, Joe. I thought you made it clear.
Humanity is too short-lived to fully comprehend the ramifications of using something like this. The experiences of each individual of the people, it's too dangerous.
I just wanted confirmation that Isla had the same mindset. That's all.
That is not a compliment.
Well,
it's an opportunity for Isla to get a little bit of more respect from Navaria, so it's all great for me.
Yeah, but she doesn't deserve it, so.
Wow.
She's matured a little bit. He doesn't dislike her as much as he did before.
I cannot say the same.
This aside, Isla, what is it? Any chance for a more practical suggestion, considering we do not want to make enemies?
I suppose I should
Also,
abstain then.
I'm assuming that we're able to talk in at least somewhat privacy.
Do you think it's private? None of them above you have seemed to react in any way.
Nia has been perfectly assuming that they have been listening to everything she's saying, by the way. I need to make that
I'm
clear.
also assuming that, but
she's just Nia considers that part of this negotiation is being clear, and she doesn't really want to mask her intentions. So the reason she's like outright saying, for example, we're not strong enough to do anything about this anymore, is because she is pretty much saying, I respect you enough to not lie to your face.
Okay.
When you give me the facade of privacy, if it makes sense.
I think we're ready.
I think 1510.
In either way,
I think 1510.
In the way that works.
Well, hold on.
Yeah.
Holding on for a hero.
If this is going to be such a dangerous problem to give them, why are we considering it at all?
There's two reasons.
So, do you think that in the next 300 years, it's gonna just disappear itself?
Kevin?
Yes, Nia.
We already made a mistake regarding the situation. Now we can only course correct. Ultimately, while the ideal circumstance would have been for them to help us consume the apple immediately so that we would both all get something from it, and then, that the tree wouldn't be a problem anymore. They seem too strongly opposed against the idea, to the point where I am not sure if that is even on the table anymore. And if that is not on the table anymore, then our choice becomes who has access to the apple, them or an unknown.
Or making enemies.
Yes, that's...
So
there's no longer an easy solution here.
They don't know the location of this apple.
Yeah, but they will not
From
struggle
what
to find it out now that they...
That's fine. We don't need to provide it to them willingly. If it's, I don't care who it is. If it's this nation, another nation, some random civilian on the street somewhere, giving anyone the access to this kind of power is probably just a problem.
The problem
And
is
we
that
shouldn't
anyone's gonna
encourage
find
that.
out the shit anyway.
We can't stop someone from stumbling upon it, but we can stop someone from being fed directly the information to a weapon of mass destruction.
Right. So I see no difference in stumbling upon it and being fed the information, first of all. Second, it's not like this is a weapon of mass destruction on a galactic scale. From what I understand, it's not the first nor the last tree of its kind. Right?
Ideally, we'd be able to consume it right now, but...
It's not like this is something that doesn't exist. These trees have been made, demon lords have consumed them.
But the least developed one has a seed that they will likely turn around and try and plant afterwards.
Right, so they'll plant the seed and then another 1,000, however long this fucker takes to grow, thousands or whatever years, there might be more. This is a scale that is incomprehensible for any of us right now. And anyway, this saying that we don't have to provide them the information is great. Think of the ramifications of this, right? What's going to happen if we say no right now? If we say we don't want to give you the location, what do we do next, in your opinion? We go there and we try to destroy the tree? Is that your plan?
I don't know what the next step is.
Okay, well, I'm not comfortable making this decision until there's a clear next step. Because I don't want to make enemies for no reason.
Well, it certainly sounded that at least one of us, Kevin will look to Yesla, has some kind of idea.
Yeah, but it's...
She looks at you, Kevin, and says, "It's not either of our place to force this hand."
But you know what this could do.
Yes. But it's in the hands of humanity now. Who are we? She gestures to you.
Okay.
I mean, isn't it our duty to stop them in whatever way we can?
Here's the problem. And she's gonna look to Yesla right now. There are intense negative consequences to basically any decision we make. right now.
So it's a question of whether the consequences are going to be for you or against. Sorry, in favor of you or against you.
Every consequence here is on some level against us.
Really?
If we let the tree grow, then there's the wide-reaching consequences that do affect us and do implicate us. If we decide to say fuck every ball, we lose a political ally, we risk outright hostility against them, we have no real way to face them, and we nonetheless might not even do anything about it. If we choose to say no and then leave, not only might they have the incentive and resources to find it and they know they're there, but even if they don't, someone will. And it is likely that someone is going to be more like them than like us. I am not trying to argue here only for, let's try to get what's best for us. I am trying to look at every consequence, and I don't think there's many alternatives out of this where we get to make the pure choice here. So we have to weigh our cards. Well, weigh our cards doesn't even make weigh our dice. Sorry, 1 second. Nilvarius?
Yes.
What's the name of the little weights you put on scales?
Repeat that again, I'm sorry?
The name of the little weights you put on scales. I don't know. Do they have a name? Fuck.
Technically, they're called pounds.
I would never refer to anything like as British as that. So the little anyway, you have to weigh your options.
Weights are fine.
I'm not trying to be like purely self-serving here. There's a path of least resistance, there's a path of most resistance and least gain, but that path doesn't guarantee the best outcome either. And between us, frankly, and I say this assuming that they're listening to us, but the reason I feel more comfortable than I usually would with the idea of letting them keep the tree around and protect it is because something of this caliber, once known, will attract competition. Inside and outside competition. I know I am not very experienced, but between my studies with Leuven and Nilvarius, and she looks at you, Nilvarius, and kind of nods to you, and my time in Algara, I believe that the nature of this world's humanity will make it so that this tree falls sooner rather than later. Might be in a decade or two, might be in 100 years, but I don't see it making to 300. Whether they protect it or not, whether we cut it down or try to cut it down or not, I think eventually, inevitably, someone is gonna get greedy, cut down an apple, and the tree dies. I
think that's a good point, and I
confident
agree.
enough that I'm willing to make this bet. Not because, I want to get something out of this, but because I genuinely cannot see a reasonable future where this is reasonably protected for that long a time. So, making enemies here feels more harmful than good, because we have already measured that the small scale impact of this decision is nonetheless very negligible. It is only going to be compoundingly bad as time passes, but we will have more options as well as time passes should we wish to renegotiate. She gives a strange emphasis to the word renegotiate. I didn't want to verbalize it myself because I'm sleepy, but I wanted to make sure that comes through.
I am very happy with Nia's line of reasoning here. The only thing I want to add is if anyone was to have access to this, I am pretty comfortable with this nation having access to it. The council has certainly shown that while ruthless in its decisions, it works for the benefit of the people, and doesn't seem like use something.
As you say this, Nia is slowly walking up to Naya, James.
Yep.
And then she just kind of puts her face in Naya's shoulder and silently screams for a second.
Right?
Kevin is going to look to Yesla. So what exactly do you recommend that we do here?
She looks to Sabo. It's not my place to recommend anything here. Not without your council requesting it of me, as I am not one of you.
Nia does not say damn fucking right, but she sure thinks it. Nia is mentally singing a certain Bo Barnham song every time every time she looks at Yesla. I'll let you guys bet which one it is.
Okay. Here's another suggestion that I might have.
I have to be right back in 10 minutes, please. Sorry, I'll be right back. It's about 10 minutes, but it could be less.
Okay.
That's inconvenient. Here's another suggestion that I have. Since quite a few of us are not necessarily comfortable with the tree being allowed to mature, and that is something that we're going to bring up in the negotiations anyway. And the person among us who is most qualified to speak on this is indeed Yesla. That is something I would like help with. Simply conveying the position that our ideal outcome is that the tree is consumed in a timely manner rather than being allowed to mature. Once we are confident that that is not on the table, I would like to then go back to our second preferred situation of splitting the percentage of the apple and cash, where we would indeed keep a percentage of the apple as very least a show of faith and good faith, even if we don't expect to ever partake in it eventually.
You hear the drow speak up. Have you decided who will represent you yet?
We're close.
Then
As
continue.
such, I would like Terrain to be present for negotiating of the monetary value within the bounds of we keep the rights to between 5 and 15% of both apples, so 10 and 30% of one apple. And the rest be somehow paid to us. Yesla to be present for counsel on the dangers of maturing this apple only. And I think as much as I am worried, I'm now somewhat willing to trust Yesla to not explode as in the past. And I don't really know who else is needed for negotiations besides these two.
Terrain for monetary reasons. If you wanted to include him.
Oh, that was the first person I said. Yes.
Oh, that was like I thought it was like you, Yisla, and.
No, Terrain, Yisla.
Terrain and Yesla.
I think the only
someone else.
Yeah. Potentially the only. Yeah. I don't know who else is needed to represent our position properly. I'm happy to be present just to make sure that these are the negotiating points that are adhered to. Or if anyone else wants to do that, or if anyone else has a thought of someone who might be helpful.
If you are going to have Yesla be included, then I can trust her to have our best interests. Or
Sabo, you were using your investigator ability, inspiration ability on the Kitsune, weren't you?
Yep.
Okay, what's the investigator ability do?
I just remembered it.
I even reminded, but I forgot to chase.
I just remembered it right now because the Kitsune was laughing about the entire arrangement, and Sabo was going to do a check, but we ran out of time last week.
It feels like we're missing something important about the fact that the whole negotiation is kind of pointless. Can't figure out why it's pointless. That's one of the reasons why I would like to just get some money if it's pointless.
As a Kitsune, they are likely in the possession of important information regarding how this tree works, meaning they might know how to grow it faster, they might know how to slow it down, they might know some secret to the tree that you are unaware of that they can use to profit.
Well, the tree is Fey in nature, and she is a Fey, so it would make sense.
Yeah, I guess then I know a reason for me to be present. I think that there might be something that our fox friend has up their sleeve, and hoping that with some more interactions I might see it. So that does mean that if unless there is objections, I would join Yesla and Terrain.
I'm fine with that.
I guess I'll wave him down and take my companions.
Very well. I shall move everyone else for a moment.
Alright.
So a sound barrier pops up between you three and everyone else to prevent further communication between them. As the representatives, we are going to be making the offer to you first. So, you have asked for 25% of the fruit, is that correct? Or do you wish to change this request?
We wish to, I suppose, change this request, considering that the 25%, we had different ideas about the timelines of, put it that way. And I will be, during all of this time, focused as much as I can without giving away too much that I'm doing that on the Mr. Fox.
Alright.
Guess I will, yeah, try to use all of my Elgaran thing and investigate investigation to inside the fox.
Alright, make me perception.
And I will start like by saying, firstly, I would like, or we would like to request Yesla, who is our trusted ally, to speak on our behalf when it comes to the dangers of keeping this tree around.
The kitsune does not seem to care about the fruit, about the tree, about any of it. She thinks it's a tool for people to kill each other with. One of the funniest tricks a Fae has ever played on the world. Give someone a dagger so that everyone can stab each other.
So the kitsune is kind of aligned with what Yesla is going to say, and I will still keep like focused and making sure that I don't catch anything else.
The kitsune doesn't necessarily want to destroy it, she just wants to see people play with it.
Okay. Cool. So if it's okay, I would like Yesla to speak in favor of our original thoughts that the tree should rather be consumed than allowed to grow.
We decline that in full. Next.
Won't even allow us to.
We heard your talks on the subject.
Yesla, do you think that there's anything you haven't said?
She had opened her mouth as if she was about to start speaking when he declined, which annoyed her to some extent. If you weren't going to let me speak, then why let us... She cuts herself off. Alright. The tree is going to outlive most people in this room. Actually, I'd say everyone in this room. It's too dangerous for us to choose to allow this to be given to someone we'll never meet and never truly know. Even as a drow in this city of humans, your life is incredibly limited. The same goes for the elf and the kitsune. This tree will bring nothing but war and destruction, either internally or externally. And the drow cuts her off there and says, move on to the next topic, please. She looks to you, Salo.
I shrug. I'm just gonna ask her. Is I suppose that's our answer. I don't know if we can do any better. I'll just address them right. In light of that, as we truly believe that maturing the tree is not something that will happen in our lifetime, we would like to split, as you, I guess, have heard, the reward between something we can have now and a portion of the fruits once you deem it is time to harvest them.
Are you talking of having parts of the fruit cut out now? Because we would not risk endangering the development of the fruit.
While that would be ideal, we're talking about alternative compensation right now.
So partial finance now and partial finance later?
Yes.
Very well. We've estimated in today's coin, if we were to do this right now, the reward for your full share would be 80,000 gold. If we were to reward you at the time that the fruit is harvested, your reward share would be 1.9 million gold.
You estimate something of that power at only 8 million gold.
Yes. That is an incredible amount.
fruit itself is.
If you could find a nation that could afford it, they would pay substantially more than 8 million. This nation as a whole, though, has, I believe, 22 million gold. That's not counting the gold of the people, but that's just the nation.
Wow, this is where we have terrain for.
Okay, so you're going to get T-Rain to make the check. And he has advantage on these. And he's going to Lucky Finance. $16 is probably going to be in the success tier. Let me see. Against ZEC. He's going to plus 5 and I'll make it a success. Oh, never mind. He's going to have the theme and then plus 5. That'll make it a success. Okay. So he's able to get the amount up to, this isn't a final agreed upon amount, but this is what they have come up to thus far. 124,000 if it was to be paid out today. And then if it was paid out then, $4.56 million.
Has only the drow been speaking?
When the finances were being handled, the old lady took over. The drow tends to interject whenever it's about the any possible dangers to the city. So, for example, harvesting the fruit early, he sees that as a loss of power, so he cut in and declined that. When it came to the financial amounts, though, that's when she stepped in.
Okay. And the kitsune is just
She's
chilling.
Just incredibly amused, feet up on the desk, tails wiggling around.
Linzel, what is your opinion on all of this? You don't seem very interested in this situation.
I've never seen the fruit do anything good.
you're willing to allow it to be bad. You don't think that preserving it will risk bringing harm to this nation, for example?
If it does, it will make this nation stronger.
If it brings harm to the nation, it will make the nation stronger.
Yes. Purge the weak, grow the strong. Survival of the fittest.
The drow seems content with that.
The Drow's not pleased by that. With that, he's going to speak up and say, after further consideration, I believe we are going to only be able to reward you in finances. In case at any point we do decide to dispose of the tree and its fruit, it is best that he stops and looks at the kitsune. It is best that you do not have a stake for further claim afterwards. We are prepared to offer 15,200 a year for the next 300 years.
While the fruit is being cultivated. I assume.
The old lady quickly interjects and says, yes, bound by the lifetime of the fruit and the tree. If the tree is harvested and replanted in that time, the time continues.
I will allow Tyrion to negotiate a inflation on that or whatever Tyrion sees fit, but I think that that's something that we're happy with.
There wouldn't really be any sort of inflation calculation for that.
No, inflation is Celestia.
Well, inflation mostly occurs from new nations with shit tons of gold interacting with nations that don't have much gold.
Okay. Well, in any case, that's I'm happy with that.
There are two further conditions.
Those are?
This is the lady sitting up. Go ahead, she looks to the kitsune. The kitsune stands up, leans over the desk. The 6-year-old and the teenager, she points to the Nia's child and then to Leuven. Those two will be educated at one of our academies of our choice. They will live on campus, and they will be educated there until they complete the course. At our expense.
Do not think the teenager is going to appreciate that.
You speak in negotiation of all there?
That's not something that we discussed with the others, so I really cannot promise you the child of Nia.
The kitsune repeats themselves. You speak in negotiation of everyone there, and the drow looks amused for the first time in this entire conversation.
Is that a statement or a question?
Statement.
Okay, then I'm going to have to decline. I do not believe that this is a negotiation being done in good faith, as you are throwing in conditions without an opportunity for me to assess them with my friends.
Your friends have deemed you the appropriate parties, all three of you.
They have, and
you speak on behalf of them.
And on behalf of them, I think that this is negotiation being handled not in good faith.
Yessel looks at you and nods. The drow stands up. Are you sure this is the way you want to go about things?
Go about things this way? This is the way you're forcing me to go about it.
No, this is the way that they gesture towards Nia, have forced us to go about this. They made severe implications that if we did not go about this the way they wanted, that we would be in danger of them renegotiating by force. We will not stand for this, and we have to take appropriate action to prevent that. In this case, their education will act as a short-term hostage situation and investment. We have no intention to bring any harm to them. But we do this out of our own defense. If after 10 years the child is still not swayed by our way of doing things, well, then of course there's nothing we can do to stop you all from gaining the power that you plan to gain and coming to try and forcibly renegotiate. If, however, sorry, go ahead.
You see the parody of what you're saying, or the funny side. Nia was the one who was worried about your negotiation methods, and you just double down on them. Nia was the one worried that you are not negotiating fairly, and it's the only reason why they implied the renegotiation, and you're just doubling down on your negotiation methods. Perhaps it would have been better if everyone just did not treat each other in contempt.
They were the one to threaten to back out of this deal after the deal was made. We are asking for insurance to bind this deal. If that is not acceptable, reasonable, or fair, we would not be asking for it.
I agree about on the insurance. I think also that the way With the current structure of the deal, I am also struggling to see what exactly us backing out would be.
Using the finances that we provide on an annual basis to arm yourselves, to gain power, and then once you have enough power, taking us out, taking the fruit by force.
That is hardly sufficient finances to do something like that for us.
15,000 a year per person.
Per person?
No, but for considering the number of you, they are dividing that 15,000 up free to figure out how much each person would get. That is more than sufficient.
Not to fight a nation.
You do not need to fight a nation if you kill the leaders. That is where power in few comes in.
Well, that is certainly something that we are not going to do.
But it is something that they threatened.
I do not believe that they quite threatened that. However, I can see how you can come to that conclusion. Do my partners have any suggestions on?
Yes, I think you should decline. Just outright.
Well, yeah, but
Leuven, on the other hand, is very torn.
Right.
He values Nia greatly. Sorry, Tyrann. I was looking at his sheet. I'm not even looking at Leuven's. I'm not sure why I said that. Right, I was talking about Leuven and dot points as one of the people that they're negotiating for. So, Tyrann is... He values Nia greatly. He values Nia's child even more. But it is incredibly dangerous to turn this sort of deal down, given everyone's position here. He thinks that the amount of money and the promise that the child will be educated for the next 10 years is fair, as long as it's at one of the institutions and not any sort of private tutelage. So basically, as long as they go to school and are not taken to a black site and mind rewritten.
That would
Tyrann would also argue the point that it's probably best for them to be at a school and not on the ship.
Yeah. And I guess their mother, or one of their mothers, or whatever the parents are, can stay with the child. That would be one of our conditions. Yeah.
They would be allowed to spend as much time with the child when the child is on break and not in the school term. When they're in the school term, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. For 12 months out of the 15 months of the year, they would be dedicated to their schooling.
Do all children have no access to their families during this?
At our higher ranked academies, this is the case. This is where our experts and specialists are crafted. If we are talking of common school, then they come and go from home and they likely attend no more than 5 months of education a year. We are providing the best of the best for this individual, educated right here in the capital.
Would you allow the individual and their parents to make that choice of institution?
They could choose from any of our highest ranked institutions.
And all would be of that nature?
Of mandated attendance and distractions removed, yes. Of course, it will be up to the parent how when the 3 months worth of time are taken out throughout the year. If they choose to use 1 day a week, they can do so.
Okay. That I think is good enough. Unfortunately, the teenager, as you refer to them, is only a teenager in appearance.
We are aware that is Leuven. He appears to have had himself de-aged somehow. We wish to learn the social interactions of someone who has had themselves de-aged, and whether that influences their state of development.
Oh. Sounds like you that is not just that is no longer being done as an insurance policy, but as an additional gain you're asking for, and such not really warranted for.
The drow actually agrees with that.
I'm gonna have to say yes to this. As long as we can nail down the terms that the child is safe and, the number 2.
Leuven goes over it and basically says the parent gets to decide exactly which 3 months. They can decide on the day. They can decide however they want, but they cannot use more than a 3-month span in 15 months. And he's going to make sure that this child's deal is as well secured as possible. He basically spends the next hour sorting out terms. But with that, do you agree to it?
Yes.
Okay. Then after the final terms are agreed upon, they are written down, and then the veil is dropped. Okay.
Sorry. 1 second.
You're having a moment. It's okay.
We have a conversation. Let us finish this on this line first.
Sure.
If I'm able to be brought back whole, then I guess it can be allowed, but once you die, you start losing parts of yourself anyways, and if I'm not whole, then that is that is good. That is reason enough for me to do not bring me back if something were to happen.
Understood.
Okay.
I will remember that. Thank you.
That was macabre.
Sorry, we had a very long conversation, and ultimately he told Nia and Kevin that if anything should happen to him, unless he's brought back whole, you are to not resurrect him at all.
So essentially, don't wait.
So we're not allowed to make a thing out of Nilvarius.
No, Nilvarius has a very personal thing about resurrection, and you are not do not resurrect me. If I am not whole, do
DNR,
not
did
do
you
it.
sign the DNR?
Okay.
Don't worry, that's definitely not a death flag, James. Don't kill him for that.
Okay,
That would be
so
rude.
there is an hour of conversations going back and forth on their end behind a veil of sound negation. I believe it's called Veil of Silence. At the end of the hour, well, a bit over an hour, the veil drops. An agreement has been come to, the drow says, sitting back down.
Okay.
Sabo, inform as representative.
I will inform of the terms and just want everyone to hold on any objections until we are back at the ship and I can explain exactly what and why.
Understood.
We have, I suppose, on the plus side, managed to at least plant the seed of the thought that perhaps the tree should not be allowed to mature to full.
Mm-hmm.
And as such, the sacrifice for that is that we will be being paid on a yearly basis while the tree is cultivated, rather than any other reward. As a side deal to this, what's the name of the child?
What child?
Yeah, Junior.
Lith? What about them?
Liv and Naya will remain at the capital for the next 10 years, where Liv will be educated in one of the top academies with 3 months of off time a year that Naya can request at any moment of their choosing, with no impediments.
You are going to explain that.
Sabo,
Yes.
Naya looks at you like they want to kill you.
Nia looks at you like they want to kill you, and everyone else in this room.
Yeah, I understand you very much.
Okay, it's Sabo.
Yes?
I'm going to look at Naya.
She looks at you as if she's waiting for you to give the signal for them to start cutting down people.
Nia is looking around as if she's trying to tell if she can take them.
Before you do take people,
preparing to interject himself.
just contemplate that a child does deserve an education. And an education
They are holding
in
my
the best,
wife and child hostage.
Yes, Naya, because you made allusions to going back on any deal that we make. And that is not something that was wise to do. I'm sorry.
I only brought up the possibility. I needed to make my concerns known.
Exactly. You brought up the possibility, and that put me in a position where there was nothing I could do. Nothing else.
There is another reason I did that.
Yes.
I was testing them.
Yes. well done. Your test was positive and put me in a position of having to make a decision between blowing off the deal completely and facing
I did
those
not
consequences.
force you to make any positions.
Well,
I understand the position you were in, but I will not be held accountable for this.
well, sure, don't hold. I'm not taking any accountability of myself.
All right.
I made the decision with the knowledge that, at the very least, education for the child is not the worst thing that can happen.
Yes, that is correct.
Might have been something that you chose to do on your own accord. But
that is also something I had considered, yes.
I understand that it's not nice to be forced into such a position.
No, I understand. And I understand that you were probably put in a position where you had no other choices.
Yeah, the choice was blowing off the deal at that point.
I'm assuming that they did not want me to stay in with her?
I'm sorry, both parents can stay if they want.
I see. So I am free to visit if I desire to?
Yeah.
Spectacular.
Also, with the assurance that you have the full choice of the educational institution, and as a general purpose educational institution, and you have the ability of visitation of 3 months a year, it did not seem like anything that is unreasonable.
All right.
I can assure you that most of the time in that dome was taken to make sure those terms were
I
as
have no lack of faith in
clear
you,
as
Sabo.
possible.
And I never will. You have no need to worry about my interpretation of your desire to help me in this situation.
T-Rain looks at you, Nia. I did my best. I tried to make sure that they were covered in every way possible.
I trust you, don't worry. Alright. Naya? Thoughts?
Our child should be a warrior, not a civilian.
Alright. Is that the only concern you have with this?
She looks at you with daggers for a moment. No.
Nia is...
It is the only thing I can say here.
I see. If you desire to go with them, I am willing to stay, but I do not think that will solve the problem.
James, from my interaction with the child, does the child have any actual like
toddler
this toddler actually have
well,
any,
they're
like,
4
any,
now.
like, magical ability? Actually have any
Let's see.
innate magical ability I can sense? Are you rolling a dice? Are you checking something else?
Roll for stats for the baby.
Okay, Nia.
Yes?
Roll me 64.
I cannot roll in the moment. I'm gonna need you to do that for me.
Can you roll in your player channel?
Perhaps.
I can roll for one of us can just roll for her here.
Yeah, that would be preferable, thank you.
Okay, Novarius. That's 44. 2 more, please.
Oh, you said 44?
64.
Oh, I'm just gonna re-roll all 6 then.
All right. This child is dumb as dog shit.
Am I able to?
But they are incredibly observant.
If I was able, if I used inspiration to re-roll, can I re-roll the? Can I make a? Do I have to re-roll each dice individually? Can I roll
Each dice individually.
The entire handful? How can I check what I actually rolled?
If you click on the 64, it actually shows you what you roll.
3 1s, 2 2s, and a 4.
They're quite wise. Okay. Their constitution's okay, but they are uncoordinated, weak, and stupid.
Incredible.
And ugly.
Incredible.
They're as personable as you could expect a 4-year-old to be.
Never mind. I'm not gonna.
Okay, guys.
I
will do it.
Let's do it. Let's do it.
I'm going to
2 each for the ones.
I'll go. Is it 2? Is it actually 2 each or just 1?
It's 2 each for each of the ones. Well, for each of the dice.
I'm gonna re-roll the 4th one, which I'm assuming is the intelligence.
Yep.
I got the strength.
Okay, I'll do
Incredible.
the dexterity.
Joint parts you re-roll of the toddler stats.
We help you. We help you. Okay, we got a 3 for intelligence and 3 for dexterity. No.
And it's still a 1 for strength. No, I'm doing that again. I'm spending another 3.
All right, mildly better.
It's only a 2. Do I want to go for the 4?
It could be funny.
Yeah, I'm going for the 4. Hang on.
All together, making the baby.
It can be the Orc Slayer
Combining
too.
all of the celestial gene pool in it.
It's gonna be the Orc Slayer too. Just watch.
Oh,
There it is.
There we go.
Just subtract all of my inspirations here.
With that in mind, and how it actually changed, Naya, I think your child has the capacity to be a magus. Actually, showcases that she has magical talent. She's bright. She's gonna probably grow up to be incredibly strong, and I'm sure she can actually find an appropriate apprentice for that here. She can be a warrior and wield magic. She has the capacity.
After fate itself has been twisted by the wills of 6 celestials to make this toddler suck less. After the fabric of reality has been fucked with.
Make this toddler suck less.
Incredible.
Okay. Those are actually pretty great stats for a toddler.
Yeah, I know.
What do you think Kevin was working on with the toddler while you guys were in Elgara? No, strength training time.
Okay, little baby.
Doing bench pressing.
This is a deadlift.
Bench press.
Go get Kevin a beer.
Hello, toddler.
A beer for a dwarf.
15. Here's 15 kilos. Go.
That child's gonna be deadlifting him twice his body weight after Kevin was done.
I can imagine this child's gonna get something from each of us. They're gonna get the murder intent from Sabo, the magic from Ilvarius, and the urge to just get a mastery in athletics by age 15 from Kevin. It's incredible.
Best use of inspiration so far in this campaign. I dig it.
Collective wills.
I hope you realize what this means.
What?
This child's going to be great at climbing things.
Oh no.
Just
keeping
as
them
long
off the
as
cookie jar is a hell.
Yes.
But not great at surviving falls. Okay.
Well, yeah. If you actually want to use some inspirations, the charisma of the child is the only thing that's left in
We'll
the
use
dirt.
one because I think that
and the
we roll.
con.
Stats
Con
for
is
it are
only-
currently -1 strength, -2 dex, -3 con, -2 int, -1 wisdom, -3 charisma.
Incredible. Incredible. This child that can already roll a 19 in strength.
Yeah.
Right.
Well, it can
This
effectively
child-
roll an 11 because of size category differences, but yes.
Yeah, but it can roll an. It can roll an. It can roll an 18 in intelligence. And a 19 in wisdom. This child's rolls. Damn. Strongest toddler on the planet, aside from the god fetus, I guess. Oh, the god fetus.
Gonna
Nilvarius, for
recover the god
reference,
fetus soon.
when we have a child in Celestia, you can give them essence, right? So I had a character that had a child, and he just gave them all the essence to get to level 20 at birth.
Oh, Jesus.
And that's what we call the god fetus. The Orc Slayer 9000.
It was over 1 million XP that you gave them. It was not just
I
the
want to
20.
say it was level 26 or 27.
Yeah.
But what age did that child reach that level, by the way? Like 10?
14 or 16? They spent from 8 years of age onwards training for it.
Can you imagine a 14-year-old with a level 20 power level?
Imagine that child's choosing at 16.
And now that the child is no longer locked in the Feywild, free to roam and kill the orcs.
Our champion. Shade's real chosen one.
Yes. Does he follow Shade's religion?
Honestly, she might. Oh, he might, sorry. So you tell me that if I pray hard, I can kill orcs better.
Alright, so anyways.
Alright, so here's the thing. I don't see many alternatives to this. Naya is against it, which on principle should mean that we shouldn't do it, but we can't take these people.
Okay, well, shall we go back to the ship so you can express your full displeasure with me in a more free way?
Your initial payment will be brought down, and the guards will be here to collect the parent or parents and the child within a few minutes.
Alright, the institution of learning, we can choose that?
Yes.
Any of them?
Any of the higher tiered within the city.
What do you consider an institution of learning?
They have the higher tiered academies, not just any.
They have every academy in the city ranked, and they are an academy based on
the
actual schools.
Are only academies eligible?
Yes.
Can I say, okay, cool, this child is now going to be trained by the captain of the city guard. Go.
Technically, that is explicitly prohibited by the agreement because they didn't. That's the second time I made that. Right. So T-Rain basically made it so that they couldn't have anyone try to solo teach this person to prevent basically indoctrination, so that they couldn't have the Mind Flayer sit in a room try to mentally break this child.
Yep. All right. What is anything stopping Naya from training him as well as the education?
No.
Naya can do whatever they want with them in those 3 months.
And for the other months of the year, they're just going to be living in the education facility, I presume? Yep. All right. Well, this is pretty much what I predicted would happen, so...
Okay, so...
ultimately, this is
do you all start to leave?
Well, I guess If Naya and the child have to stay back, then we don't
I am
necessarily
going to
leave
have
them
to
here
see what
alone.
Naya wants to do first.
Yeah.
Kind of have this obligation. I need to talk to them, but I cannot talk to them here. And
Can we
I'm
have
going
some
to see
privacy before our
No, they
friends are
actively want to
taken
avoid
away?
that.
What? You don't want privacy?
They actively don't want us to have privacy. They're going to give us veneer privacy.
The only reason that you would need privacy is if you're plotting against us in some way, and we cannot encourage that.
Yes, but I want these people, well, my friends, to be able to tell me what they think about what I did.
I can talk to you about this in the ship. I need Naya's opinion on this beforehand, though.
Okay.
We can't
Naya
take them,
knows this.
or we risk
Yeah.
endangering our child.
Yes.
We are making our child pay for the sins of our actions. I hate that.
Correct.
We did this to them.
We underestimated the greed, and that has come back to bite us. I apologize to Nilvaris, and I apologize to you. I had thought something else would come of this. However, once it became clear from Sabo's explanation that they would not permit the idea of the tree not blossoming, I expected them to do something of this kind. I just didn't expect it to be personally against us. That was a second failure of mine.
Through gritted teeth, she gives you a nod.
I will approach her. And I will hug her.
You're not sure whether she's ready to stab you, or stab everyone, or...
If she wants to stab me, she can.
There is a whole lot of violence charged up right now.
And I will tell her that I will be sending her ascending with frequency.
Good.
And that I will be coming back the instant she wants me to come back, unless she wants me to stay here with her and
Wait,
the child.
you're leaving?
And if do you want me to stay here? I was about to say this. Like, she has two options here. I can either work on the outside to see if I can figure something out, or I can stay with them and the child for the duration. There are benefits and downsides to both. I understand. I'm assuming that at this point she has Naya is smart, right? She has a tactical understanding of situations, correct?
Yes.
Yeah, so I understand, I'm assuming she knows the downsides and benefits of both situations, yes?
Unfortunately, she's put that together.
Yeah, so I'm giving her the power of choice, because no matter what Nia believes is the right decision, ultimately this is not her decision to make, because she's not a hostage here. No matter what she believes is a tactically sound decision, the moment Naya says, I want you to stay, or I want you to help me kill every single one person in this room, she will do that, even if we kill her. She is fully ready to blow up her soul and kill everyone in this room. She can. There's no hesitation here.
Stay with us.
Okay. Are you sure?
10 years is too short a time for you to gain the power needed to put an end to these people. But we will make their descendants pay for their crimes.
I did not presume to gain the power to end them in 10 years. Only to renegotiate. I asked this because I will respect your decision, but I want it to be an informed one. I will stay if you believe that is the best thing for us, for the child. However, there are consequences to this. If you wish for me to stay and for you to go, I am also willing to do that. I just want you to make the best decision for us that you believe is in the middle ground
decide
between
for
the.
you.
I know you can't, but I trust you to decide for us as a group. What do you think is going to help them more, someone on the outside or someone here with you? I ask you this because I am yet young and I do not know. Though I have grown a lot, this is a new experience for me. And I trust you more than I trust myself.
The child needs their parents.
Yes.
In 10 years they will be of age.
They will be 14, right? Yes, they are 4 now. They will be 14. They will not be of age.
Why is it saying 14?
Because they will be 14 in 10 years. You just said they were 4.
No, they are 4. So why is it saying they are of age and...
Was they changeling?
I don't think that's the case.
That's just a mistake on the changeling chart. It's set to 14 for some reason. Okay. The race above it was 14, so I had set changeling to 14 when I moved it down. Okay, that makes sense. In 12 years, they will be of age.
Yes. But they will not have spent the last 2 years here regardless. Nonetheless, I do not. She pauses, looks around the room, and then shrugs. And I believe no matter who stays and who goes, we can renegotiate this to take and move us sooner. The problem is... Well, you know the problems. She is technically sound. I will respect your decision, but I want it to be made with all the data because it is an important one. By the way, anyone who knows Nia well can probably tell she is planning something bad.
I will not decide for you, Nia.
I know you will not, but I wanted your counsel tactically and emotionally.
There are too many things on both sides for me to suggest one over the other. I can't. It's not that I don't want to, it's that I can't.
I understand. I can spend as much time here as I desire, correct? There must always be a parent in here, as I understand it.
There doesn't have to be, but both parents are welcome. And you're not barred from the city or anything, so you can come and go as you wish.
Can we set up a teleportation circle here, James? Or something of that kind?
If you learn how to.
We have the technology.
We have the technology.
Navarius can straight up draw a teleportation circle.
And teleportation circles can teleport from one circle to another, right?
Circles can teleport from one to another, but I'm talking about, like, the obelisks.
So one point is, can I set up a way for us to go from the ship to the city?
Problem is going back.
What do you mean?
From
the city to the ship?
Yes.
On the ship?
I don't think... Do we have that technology to have permanent teleportation circles?
I can make one.
Okay, so...
Would a moving circle with the ship work?
Yeah, because it's
I'm just checking the rules
circle,
on it.
The circle is an actual just a teleport location. I'm looking at the actual ritual itself since I actually have it learned. It's not.
Yeah,
It's not permanent until it's not actually straight up permanent until I can get a 10th level slot, but it still lasts for quite a long time though. It's when you let's see here. What's the actual duration?
Duration 1 day. At 9th level it becomes 1 month, and at 10th level duration is unlimited.
Alright, the designation is
the destination must be a location with 1,000 miles.
I see.
Okay, it's not that we have to go around traveling that much, even though we have the ship. We can keep to immediate area. Can have projects in and around the vicinity. Can prepare for whatever we want to do with Greystone here.
There's nothing we can do to stop the child from going to this specific sex education thing. They are the hostage. I'm assuming they said that they didn't have to always be a parent here, correct?
Correct.
We can the two of us can come and go as we desire, though it is not exactly ideal to leave the child alone here.
In such a way that you can just have the child at home 1 day a week if you want, so you have constant contact with the child.
Yes, or we could have the 3 months in a row and then come back.
Yeah, like, you can do either. It's whatever is more comfortable.
For those 3 months every single time.
Or you can have a split of it. Like it's whatever you decide. You don't have to decide right now either.
I see. All right. I am not seeing too many alternatives here. Would you prefer to have time with them weekly like that? Or all at once to work on things more thoroughly?
We'll have to figure that out.
Right, let's talk on the ship.
I won't be taken to the ship if I'm going with the child.
Can they not come to the ship? After they see what...
Oh, if they can come and go as they please, surely they can come and go then.
She can, but the child is being taken to the... Well, not to an academy today, but taken into quote-unquote custody.
Okay, so here's what I think you should do. You guys go with the child until you get the child situated, and when you've done that and you've decided on your next plan, then we can all reconvene and talk on the ship.
That sounds good.
Child.
All right, James, I'm gonna go with them with the child for now, and then I can reconvene after we're done.
She asks you to go with them just in case something happens to her while this is initially going on. That way, basically, the child doesn't lose both parents at the same time.
Makes sense. All right, I will do that, and then reconvene with her.
Okay. So everyone goes to the ship.
As I leave, I give the council a look.
You see the kitsune grab their lips and twist them upside down. So their frown is literally turned upside down.
Neo looks at them.
She waves.
She smiles. And then she leaves. She smiles a fang smile, like the one she has of Empire.
Alright.
I'm gonna roll perception on that gesture of the kitsune. It's not that I really want to know, but I'm interested. Is that because the kitsune can't stop itself from grinning? Or is the kitsune mocking us?
From what you can tell, it's quite likely that kitsune is telling them to turn their frown upside down. In other words, they're basically trying to say, get over it.
Alright, let's go.
Okay. So everyone but the child and Naya go to the ship.
Before we go,
Alright.
I would like to just bring up one other thing with these guys.
I can understand that. Ideally, it will not be our last interaction together, and I am hoping our future ones are more positive.
To be frank with you, it makes me question whether or not it was right for us to treat the nation as allies and work on the behalf for the good of this nation without negotiating upfront or even asking for rewards, such as in the case of the civil uprising.
We have been quite generous with the reward we have given you for this knowledge. Before you go, we do need the location.
You have, while, however, whereas we asked for absolutely nothing for some of our other services.
Very well, we will be more proactive in rewarding you in future. We presumed up until this point that you were more like the Celestials we had met before, where good deeds went without reward. If that is not how you request it to be, we will reward you as you deserve to be.
It would
not mind that before.
It is not that it is wrong to ask for rewards. From the work you have done, you deserve them. It was a poor presumption on our behalf, it seems.
Yeah.
Well, for what it's worth, from our end, we were expecting our good deeds to give us, to be met by other good deeds, not by hostile negotiations.
It is
and
fine.
if they, yeah, I mean, I'm talking after you guys left.
Nia's not gonna leave without you.
You are going to a different place.
No, she's not. She's going with you.
Oh, you're
Naya
going
said
with
she
the
should.
child.
No, Naya said she
No,
should come with you.
Naya is the one going with the child, the others are staying.
Okay, so, yeah, I lost my train of thought. Did I make myself want reward? It's that I'm not happy that we do good deeds and we're met with this.
This was not hostile negotiations until we felt threatened. Even then, it was not hostile. We hope that you never have to experience a hostile negotiation with us. We were stern, but I would not go so far as to claim that this is in any way hostile. You are allies that we hope will continue to be allies. We do not wish to become enemies.
Nia looks at them again at this.
The drow looks right back at you.
Genuine shock, by the way.
Before Nia starts murdering, I'm gonna end now. Then, in that case.
Okay.
Yep.
So back on the ship. You're all taken back to the ship. Is anyone going anywhere else first?
Not first, no.
Nope.
Then you get back to the
No,
ship.
as long as everyone's going.
Cool.
Just out of curiosity, in their negotiations, did they specify what their supposed plans with this thing actually really are in the grand scheme of things?
The grand scheme of things, they do want to keep it, but after they were probed enough with the idea that keeping it may be dangerous even for them, they seem to be more willing to consider destroying it in the by themselves anyway.
Sabo?
Yep.
Sorry to interrupt, but you would have noticed that the ladder on the ship, the trap one, had been set off, and that there was minor blood on it.
Someone's here.
I'm out.
I assume you're all going to search the ship?
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
Extreme prejudice.
Okay. Using your perception DCs, you don't find anyone on the ship.
Do I find where they?
There was
There was
a blood trail that went throughout the ship, just a few drops every now, and then left.
Did they take anything?
You can't seem to find anything that was taken.
All right.
Varys, can we use this blood to
Scry?
find who did this?
Absolutely.
Cool.
Hold on. Let me see what they did a bonus to the will save though. Let me find it. Hold on a second.
Did they set off anything else?
A few traps throughout the ship.
So they went around and they got stabbed a bunch of times.
After the
left.
first one, they were a lot more careful with the others.
So what you're saying is my traps aren't good enough. I need to upgrade them.
Well, they're pretty much fatal for anyone who sets them off the first time. They're not designed for someone to set one off and then set the next one off and then set the next one off to catch them each time by surprise. They are designed to deal as much damage immediately as possible.
But they were not powerful enough
for whatever this creature was, no.
So
or this person has evasion.
I can attempt it, but the DC is 10 lower because I'm going off of a body part basically. So the DC on it would be 27, but I can attempt it.
You mean 10 higher? Or their DC to save?
The DC is 37 normally, but because I both haven't met them and I'm just using something that I found, like, their blood at a crime scene for this case, the DC is 10 lower. So the DC would be 27 will instead.
Okay, so they're likely to save.
Well, I can always try. You never know.
I mean, we should try either way. Is there anything we can do? Yeah.
I mean, I can attempt to cast it, and then if we don't like the rolls, we can just inspiration it until we figure it out.
Okay. We can try. Let's try.
Do you want to try that? All right. I will go ahead and attempt it. I'm assuming that was the first will save for you, James. All right. Well, I'll go ahead and spend the first 2 inspiration to make him re-roll it. He has to roll like a 5 or less in order to. Okay.
The target fails. Okay. So the eye opens and you see this half drow, half human getting their arm bandaged up. It looks like it was sliced vertically by the ladder.
Do I see where it's at? Where he's at? Any indication? Because I can see.
They're somewhere in the city. You would have to walk around the city a little bit to... Actually, no, you can just send the eye up further to get a better view, because it's got a 500-foot range. In the North District, they're at one of the armories.
Yeah.
I see them. They're at an armory. Am I able to look around at signs and stuff like that to get a better idea?
Okay.
Let's go.
I suppose we go.
Yep.
Okay.
Let's see. Does it have audio? I think so. Hold on.
I believe you get to choose between audio or visual.
It says it works like
clairvoyance. Seeing all directions and using visual senses only.
It says nothing. It says nothing about actually hearing anything.
Yeah, just visual senses. All right, let's go.
If only took the read lips feat. Anyways.
Mia is humming happily.
Okay. So you will head there?
Also, yeah.
Yep.
You arrive there. Do you want to go in or wait for him to come out?
You can go in.
Yeah.
Alright.
Obviously, I see this person's true name and the true name of the person that's bandaging him.
Yep.
Can you power kill them both?
Yeah, no.
No, I can. You said? Would you say make them power word kill? You said.
Power kill them. Can you power to kill them both?
My best threat I can constantly think of using true speech that's very simple and to the point is command them to try and swallow their own tongue, because I feel like that's pretty fucked up. But
I like that, but I think just saying die would be better.
No, I don't think it's that. I think it's a little more complicated.
How about bite your own tongue?
I'm sure showing up is going to be terrifying in itself. So let's go. Let's go.
Okay, let's go.
Okay. You walk inside, you see that the person's been bandaged up, and at the moment they're just sitting on the counter talking to the person. The person at the moment is just cleaning up after stitching them up.
Hi.
Hi.
Ah, crap. Hi.
You broke into our ship.
Yes, I did. I didn't steal anything. You're welcome to search me.
What's your name?
Alin.
Cool, you're on the list. Okay.
So why did you break into our ship?
I was making sure that everyone had gone when they were instructed to.
Why?
Because I was asked to get everyone. I sent others to summon you all, to send word and tell you to come. And then I went to verify after the fact. I sent myself to your ship. I did not trust other people to not attempt to steal something from your ship. It is my understanding that your ship is incredibly powerful, which is why I did not allow for anyone else to go aboard. I searched it myself. I searched it thoroughly. I did not open up any containers. I only searched for people.
Probably smart you didn't open up any containers. Some of them are worse than the latter.
You are welcome to check my person for anything that I have on me. I can understand that you might want to check your ship for anything that might be stolen. This is my address. He writes down his address on a piece of paper and hands it to you. And this is my direct supervisor. He just gestures to the person sitting here. They normally handle my day-to-day. That person is just slightly confused. They weren't the one who gave them the instruction.
So your direct supervisor has no idea what you were doing?
No, I was informed, but...
From who?
This came from... what's his name? Where is it? Palgon Zif.
Wonderful. Okay. I can see you didn't instigate this yourself.
So you were looking to follow your orders as completely and thoroughly as possible while causing the least amount of intrusion possible?
Yes, that was my intent.
I see
Checks
no
out to
problem
me.
with this. I am sorry that you got injured in the process.
It is reasonable for you to take steps to defend your home.
Wonderful.
Would you like any magical healing?
I am sure I have inconvenienced you enough by having you have to come out here looking for me.
Nonetheless, I am offering.
I would be grateful. To Sabo, he would look and say, "That is a remarkable ship that you have. I am not capable of understanding half the things that I saw. You need not worry, I will not be repeating a word of anything that I saw to anyone. My duty was to only find people, not to report back any information that I discovered while aboard."
That would be appreciated.
He gives you a nod. You heal up a third of the wound.
A third of the wound?
The guy rolled a nat 1. Normally he has evasion.
Alright, question for you then, James.
Yep.
I'll send it in player channel. I don't know that it matters, but I'll send it just in case. Alright, and I will do it again.
Alright. It's another 30. His wounds is two-thirds closed.
That is the best I can do for the time being.
It is more than you needed to. Is there anything else I can do for any of you?
No, let's go.
Thank you for taking your job so responsibly.
Bye.
Bye-bye.
Be safe and be well.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, you'll go back to the ship again?
Yep.
Okay, now you're free to talk as you wish.
Cool.
Let me just explain
All right, go on.
my thoughts. In the end, it came down to a decision between going into conflict and agreeing for the child to be educated in the city.
I understood that, yes.
The way we got there was
One moment, please.
they
You can go on.
they were extremely opposed to giving up any potential power from this find. However, they were not really ready to pay that much upfront. The numbers bounced around were around 100,000, which didn't seem like a good deal at all. Considering that we rather wanted this thing potentially destroyed. After some probing with the Kitsune, they all realized that, in the Kitsune's opinion, the tree was not worth much to anyone except for bringing conflict, and that, in the Kitsune's opinion, conflict is going to be beneficial to the country for culling the weak.
I understood the situation. I am sorry you were put in that position.
Yeah, let me just quickly finish, if that's okay. Just to fill everyone in, unless you were guys listening, but I don't think you were.
No, I am. No, not your position.
So, upon probing that out of the Kitsune, the council rethought their position, seemingly not prepared to go through with any amount of destruction in order to cull the weak, and decided to negotiate this deal where they would pay us over time while they choose to cultivate the tree to destroy it, which I thought would be quite quite a favorable situation for Nilvarius, Yesla, Kevin. In general, if Nilvarius or if any of Yesla decides to blow the tree up herself, at the very least, you know, we will not be scamming them that much either. And then they brought up the question of essentially a hostage, to which I immediately refused. And we had some very tough negotiations where, in the end, it did come down to either going into conflict over it or accepting what seemed to be acceptable terms, in that, to the best of my judgment, it's not the worst that can happen. The problem that I did have, and that is something that I brought up with them as well, was that The reason that Nia was contemplating renegotiation is because Nia felt that they were not dealing fairly, and they were doubling down on this not dealing fairly. It rather didn't stop them from doing that, and they insisted on an answer from the three of us. Finally, what swayed my final decision is that the term of the education was limited to 10 years, after which seemed maybe not ideal, but reasonable. We are not committing anyone to a life as a hostage. And that's kind of where the decision was made. That's all I have to say for myself. And finally, I am sorry about the end result. I do wish perhaps we just blew up the apples and left. Save ourselves a whole lot of trouble. I'm done talking. Can you hear me?
Yes.
Yep. Okay.
Leuven looks around at you all. I think this is all around really a positive.
I suppose, in the grand scheme of things, it could have been worse.
I would be inclined to say so if we had allowed Nia and Naya to make the choice themselves. That is the only thing that is bothering me.
Yeah, of course.
Well, we did pick them as our representatives. That being said, it would have been nice to know ahead of time that we were potentially negotiating someone's life. I'm not a fan of that. I don't like that.
I did bring that up.
Fucking drow slavers. He would actually use the elven words for drow slavers.
He nods. He doesn't say anything.
Which is just basically I think it's darkness and enslaver.
I imagine it's derogatory.
Yeah.
He uses the slur.
Oh yeah.
Leuven, you would be amused to know that they originally also wanted you to be educated. But I was...
Wait, you talked them out of me getting... Do you have any idea how expensive textbooks are?
I'm back. Hello.
Welcome back.
I mean, you can still go if you want. I'm sure they'll be happy to have you.
Is there anything else, Sabo, that you wanted to say?
No. We're just talking.
All right. So, I am in the same situation. I am sorry you were put in that situation. That is not on you, that is on them. I underestimated their greed.
I have a question.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know if Nia, you will know, maybe Sabo will know more in this case.
Okay, go on.
Have they arranged a place for Naya to stay?
I'm assuming they have, right?
Yeah.
James? Yeah, they have.
Okay.
Cool.
Well, we can always use our first payment to rebuild our house.
Yeah. Anyway.
Well, that's what I was contemplating, is how quickly that needed to be prioritized.
I don't think that's going to be a problem. I'm going to have to spend the next little while planning how I'm going to get stronger. And how I'm going to keep visiting Naya.
Levin, do you actually want to be committed to 10 years of forced education at one of the academies?
No, but I considered it.
I mean, we could still arrange it if you ever decide to.
I'll hold you to that.
Mm-hmm. He is still looking furious, but she is furiously cold now instead of just going to kill everyone. Right, yeah.
Right. Well,
So 15.
I suppose.
So terrain speaks up. 15,000 a year. That's pretty good.
Mm-hmm.
Especially from something that we can't make much use of.
Yep.
So are we still going to be adventuring, or... Like, that's enough for us to live like nobles.
I need to get stronger.
I still have something I need to take care of.
Mm-hmm.
The ship should keep.
You need to take care of Blackstone, and then I need to get powerful. So yes, I would.
Right, what are we doing about
them.
Blackstone?
Greystone.
Sorry, Greystone.
That place. Not
I guess,
eradication, I hope.
Kevin, you take the stage?
Well, the plan's changing a bit.
Okay.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, you can indulge them in your plans, Kevin, and I am going to go do something else for a little bit.
Don't kill anyone yet.
Oh, I'm not going to yet.
I don't like that the word yet's being used. That's yes, sir.
No.
He looks you dead in the eye. It might take a year. It might take 100 years. That's okay.
That's not the answer, Nia.
I am fully willing to take an oath like you did to kill them.
Nia, be better than your birth of blood.
They are holding my child hostage.
And they are safe, as long as you don't get reckless.
Oh no, I am going to wait until they're safe. Don't worry about that.
Then afterwards, what is the point? Other than simply revenge. There is no good to come of that.
Drugs. They cannot be tolerated.
She looks at you, Kevin.
Stretches a bit. Right.
Revenge just for the sake of revenge doesn't make anything better.
Mm-hmm. I admire you a lot, Kevin. You're a good man.
I don't want to be counterproductive here, but what about revenge for pleasure?
It's still gonna be a no on that.
Oh, okay.
So, did I ever tell you guys what happened to the country I came from in my past life?
Brazil?
Yeah.
Yeah, you keep mentioning how you nuked it.
Yep.
In fact, I recall that happening now.
Yesla asks, what is a nuke?
It was already dead, but I blew it up.
So,
I just got that explained to me. I'll tell you later.
Spell powerful enough to destroy a small city.
Yep.
Imagine if you took thousands upon thousands upon thousands of alchemical bombs and you put them all together into one giant bomb, and when you set it off, it unleashes destruction on a scale that we can barely comprehend.
Good times.
Sounds like
we
it can decimate entire
comprehend.
cities and regions.
A small city.
Nia, she looks at you like you're a monster.
Don't worry, there was no one there. Disease had killed everyone at that point. It's me in a barren wasteland. All alone.
To clarify, she already told me it was already a barren wasteland before that happened.
Yep. By that point, I hadn't seen another living soul in... James, how many years was it? 6? 7?
4.
Yeah, 4 years. Not a single person surviving that disease. It could have been someone, but at that point I doubted.
You would have estimated that there was less than 100 people that could have been within the blast radius?
Yeah, I'm only going to tell them as much.
It's still 100 people, yeah.
There is still 100 possible people that most likely would have been dead. In return, there was a place that was immune to the disease. The place where the sickness was eradicated. One of the few safe places on the entire planet where people wouldn't die if they took a wrong step.
I'm not sure that a country completely nuked to shit can count as a safe place. Yeah.
I lived there for my whole life and I didn't get sick. If anyone moved there after, they would have been able to do the same.
You lived in a radiation-infested wasteland.
James, that's pretty much what I did, right?
Modern nukes don't really have that much radiation left over.
Yep. It's just a big boom. Just kills all the stuff in the air.
Technically, the radioactive part, like the hyper-radioactive parts, are the parts used in the actual activating of the nuke itself. So the secondary blast, which is the actual big boom, is what would blow almost all of that away. And even then, it is so much more efficient that there's not enough radioactive particles left over for it to be considered Nagasaki or Hiroshima levels of irradiated.
Yep.
Yeah, but that was one bomb each. This is whole country bombed to shit.
Yeah, but even still, the level of radiation isn't insane compared to the blast radius.
It was the small concentration of it at the start dispersed as far as it was, made it effectively negligible.
Anyway, point is, they are kidnapping a child as hostage. Also, it's my child.
Is it just me or are they cutting out?
No, they cut out a lot right there.
Oh, sorry. What you said is, kidnapping children as hostages is a big no-no. Also, it's my child, but even if it wasn't, big no-no. I'm sure that is actually in the Geneva Conventions, by the way, using children as hostages and shit like that.
Okay. So, what is the plan with Greystone?
I think we're gonna, as far as I understand, Kevin has a new plan, and we're gonna
That's
go
what
to
I'm
war.
asking. That's what I'm asking Kevin. What is the new plan?
We're changing gears and we're breaking the curse.
Oh, no more sinking?
No, it's not going to accomplish anything.
Okay. Do you have... Fine. Do you have a plan for breaking the curse?
Not yet. I know Yesla has started working on it, but I don't know how far she's gotten.
Look at Yesla questioningly.
I have an idea.
Nia is going to take her leave.
Please?
They're creatures from the abyss. They eat magic. If we can get one, we can make them eat the spell.
No, that actually makes Nia pause. I am capable of summoning fiends.
Can I take a check on what the hell she's asking about? She's talking about?
Yep.
No. What the fuck? That was a 20 a second ago. The fuck?
No, you rolled in that one. Your advantage.
Oh no, I can't. I'm gonna do it. I'm gonna roll again. That's bullshit. I don't care. I know lots of stuff.
Not this.
I'm smart, damn it!
I'm gonna keep rolling so I know stuff. This is important to me. Come
Oh
on!
my god!
How many inspirations are you gonna use on this?
One,
Single
three,
check.
6 so
No
far.
more.
Okay,
Yeah,
34.
Done. I got a lot of inspiration. Like,
Okay.
I purchased some stuff.
Oh.
Mm-hmm.
Creatures from the abyss. I mean, we have the little bug.
You're a robot, Pablo.
I mean, we have the little bugs from the tower. I just don't know if we really want to set them loose.
No.
Okay.
So these creatures, they're not gonna harm the people, just eat the magic, right?
Well,
Do I know anything? Did I actually know anything or no? I have no fucking.
yeah, I'm just getting up the creature's information.
Oh, okay.
See, you are smart, buddy.
I swear I'm smart. I know I'm smart. Trust me, I'm smart, guys.
Source me.
You don't know of any from the Abyss, but you do know some from Limbos. They are called Disenchanters.
Are you talking about a different creature, Yisla? I'm aware of the disenchanters that were from Limbos. Or is this a completely different
Disenchanters
creature?
are from the Abyss.
Are you certain? I'm fairly certain they came from Limbos.
That's strange, my research said the Abyss.
Huh.
Well, you're the planar expert.
Maybe it might be worthwhile to confirm that before we actually move forward. then.
Well,
So we actually know what
regardless,
we're looking for.
there's no Limbus or Abyss. They're all here now.
But there are planes have remains here on the material plane. Maybe we can actually still find a way to. We can
Reckon
maybe
they
find a
just
way to actually try and.
chilling on their bit of
Curiosity,
plane.
is a plane
Okay.
still considered a plane even if it's here?
It's a
I guess
monoplane.
where everything is together, but as far as I understand, like there's still like remnants. They are like merged together with material plane now, but there are remnants that still exist.
The
that
regions still
constants-
linger with the planar effects, as far as you can tell.
Yeah, that's what he's trying. He's trying to like elaborate.
Okay.
It would be as simple as like if we were just walking across the world and we came across we step literally into another region, and it happens to be, I don't know, the Feywild or the Abyss, and it's as simple
Yeah,
as
but do they
that.
obey the rules of those places?
I don't know. We haven't actually come across anyone directly to know for certain.
What are our chances of procuring one of these and having it do what we want instead of just eating us?
Well, these things feed on the largest chunk of magic they can find.
Ship is a pretty large chunk of magic.
Yeah, but it's nothing in comparison to a spell of that level.
Okay.
We could use a ship to get its attention and have it follow us.
Okay. Okay. That's a solid start.
She looks to Kevin. The creature, though, will kill them when it feeds on them.
Good.
I don't think that's the right step for us to take.
You have long outlived our natural life. I thought you guys would like the natural order of shit.
That doesn't give us the right to decide that this is their end.
Oh, we are not deciding it. That creature is going to decide it. Besides, we already know that the king has promised to execute them all once they're done.
Not if we can help it.
So you're planning to break the spell and then save all the murderers from the crazy king?
Not exactly.
Can you please tell me what the hell you want to do?
I can't protect them all from what the king wants to do. But I can even the odds so that they can protect themselves.
So you're gonna fight against the king on their side?
No. We're gonna disarm the king.
Ooh, I like that. Let's steal from him.
Okay. Him having the weapon that he has makes it so they have really no chance against him. But if we can level the playing field, as it were.
There's something else.
Why not just... What?
Nilvarius, you're a master mage, are you not?
I suppose so.
If you could develop a ritual using this creature's blood as one of the components, we might be able to infuse the creature into the ground, draining and cancelling out the spell in the region. If there's nothing, no spell powering them and targeting them, I don't think there'll be anything to bring them back. Because as far as we know, the spell has two aspects: that which targets the person and that which targets the land. I think it needs both to work. So if we can get rid of either one... Well, when we got rid of one, Nia was able to leave.
I like it.
That could work.
Oh.
The circle would be immense, but that's feasible. That's doable.
Coolio.
Sabo, she gives you a look. Do you make eye contact with her?
Yes.
When you make eye contact with her, you hear the words in your head. Once the area is no longer bound, you can destroy them.
Okay.
Do it if you must.
Okay.
Is that magic or is that straight up telepathy?
That's just straight up telepathy.
Okay.
Let's get this creature and ask it nicely for some blood, so that then Nelvaris can devise a ritual. I guess we're still might need the sleep ritual though to keep them in check while we do this. The yeah, and if you have any free time from plotting your revenge, would be nice to have the sleep ritual finished. Nelvarius and Yesla search for where we get one of those creatures. Kevin, you go lift and practice convincing abyssal/limbo creatures to give some of their blood for a noble cause.
I don't think I'll be much use with figuring out where these creatures are from. Locations are not my specialty.
Okay.
Regardless, I can do research and actually find out for sure what exactly they are. Afterwards, I can focus my efforts on trying to discover where they are, and then we can take it from there.
I need to make all of you some staves.
Why?
What?
Why do I need a staff?
Oh, not you. If you wanted a shield, there's enough wood for that. Well, I don't know how good this wood will be
My
for a
staff
shield.
isn't ready to be made yet.
Oh, okay. Well,
don't worry about that.
Need to make it at some point, and if I'm gonna, I'm just figuring out what I need to do in my time and how I can help with this. We no longer need an army of zombies.
I wouldn't say that.
I think that a good thing for us to do would be to find that other little city we had nearby and see how they're doing, set some trade on the flying ship.
We do like trade.
Do we have anything except until the sleep ritual is ready? Do we have any reason to go back to Greystone?
No, we need to have a fully planned for getting rid of this curse before we go back.
Well, I think we can still go back and lock them in with a sleep spell for just to
But
stem the
what's
bleeding.
that going to accomplish?
They will not be able to send out those mad fuckers to go and terrorize the population.
But then those of us who have killed will be trapped there.
We don't have to go. So the idea with the sleep one is to put it around, like the safe distance for us. That makes sense.
But wouldn't that also stop any supplies, like food and stuff, from getting into the castle?
They don't need food.
James, I'm pretty sure they still need food, right?
They need food for as long as they're awake. They can starve to death. But their hunger resets when they die. Or wake up, I should say.
That's still causing them suffering for an indeterminate amount of time.
They're suffering as it is. It's not exactly. Besides, it doesn't fully stop it. Look, it doesn't fully stop the supplies, because the people going in, if they fall asleep, they can wake up and keep going. The people going out, they fall asleep and they teleport back. That's the point. Anyone who's not affected by the curse is minorly inconvenienced falling asleep on the way in or out.
And pretty much anyone they would have delivering supplies would have to be unaffected. Okay, I can see that.
Like, yeah. If there's a murderer, they can't deliver the supplies anyway. Finally, putting that ritual up as a first step will give us the protection from armies within as we set up the second, no doubtedly more complex spell.
Okay.
Right.
I don't know, with that being a semi-permanent sleep ritual, if we're able to control how long it puts someone to sleep or anything, are we?
I guess that depends on the spell, right? We can maybe make it
for the most part. It'd be
nap.
as long as the spell is maintained, while ritual is maintained, and the ritual would be able to be made somewhat indeterminate for the amount of time that it lasts in that way. So you could just have casters take over every few hours.
So we could set it up in a way that would essentially allow them to allow the non-cursed individuals to wake up every couple hours.
Making it making it pick between the cursed and the not cursed is quite difficult for it.
No, but mostly because as soon as the cursed individuals fall asleep, they can't wake up as part of the curse.
Yes. I get what you mean.
So we need the lowest duration possible. We need the ritual to just be a power nap.
Yeah. So if we can manage that, that would only minimally impact supply lines, and that could work.
Also, if there's like several of them coming, they are not likely to all fall asleep at the same time. The ones that don't fall asleep can wake the others up. And they're probably immune to the sleep for a while. Okay, then I don't know what the others have planned.
The only thing I don't love about the sleep spell route is how much time it's going to take. to travel there and back and then there again. That's why I want to try to just have everything ready.
Okay. I don't mind. I don't know. Don't really know how long it will take to find one of those creatures anyway. That might by itself take 10 years or more.
I certainly hope not.
Okay. Then perhaps, Yesla, you can look into some other options while we start working on this one.
Sure.
Yeah, I'll.
What did you want me to do?
I want you to practice convincing abyssal creatures to kindly donate blood for a noble cause.
And how exactly am I supposed to do that?
Well, the way I see it, we're going to come across this abyssal creature and you're going to want to ask it to kindly donate blood for a noble cause.
It's not
And then it's
intelligent.
going to attack us.
It's about as smart as a horse.
Okay. Well, then I don't know, Kevin. That's what we're going to. I don't really know. Sorry.
Do we know how much blood we're going to need for this ritual?
We don't. Before we get the blood, I don't think we can even start working on the ritual.
I need to understand the nature of its ability to do so before I even try and make a ritual that would emulate its skill.
So, if and when we find one of these things, would a small sample let you do that?
Not sure.
About a bucket's worth.
Find out.
A bucket's worth might do well, but considering these creatures are rather large, I'm sure it won't be very much of an issue.
We have lots of experience in bloodletting here.
The creature looks like a bit of a mix between an elephant and a horse.
Oh, that's the image that you posted, what it looks
Yep.
like. Yeah, that looks more like, that doesn't look like a fucking demon.
So if we are able to find one and I can restrain it, we could get the sample that you need and then I could heal it again.
Probably.
Yeah.
As long as it doesn't eat us.
Probably the best route for us getting started.
Kevin, they eat magic. I don't know if you're going to be able to heal such a creature.
Oh, that's fair. Which doesn't mean I shouldn't try, though. In the meantime, why don't I get working on getting our house rebuilt?
Okay. It's a good plan.
That way, in case Nia and Naya don't like the provided living arrangements, they'll have that as a backup. Plus, it needs to get done anyway.
Okay. One. I suppose the only thing on the list that I would like to make a decision on is who we can have running the elderly care project.
Leuven sits up. I could do that.
If it's not too much of a bother, I know that you were doing last time.
I like the old people. They make me feel young.
We can move to the bigger facility they have for the capital, I suppose. Unless you like the previous place.
I'm fine either way.
Well, this one will give you better access to the capital resources. So.
Okay.
Okay. We'll some flying, I suppose.
All right.
Okay with you, unless you'd like a little vacation first.
Well, we've been traveling for ages.
All right.
A break would be nice, but they look at Nia.
Yeah.
Someone's come after our family.
It also means we should probably be here for our family for at least a short while before we all spread out.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, staying here for a few days would be nice.
Okay. Let's call it a month in the capital until we have everything in order, and then we can restart some local trade to raise finances.
I'm gonna go talk to Naya.
A month should be fine. It gives me an opportunity to bolster my magic before I continue to start upcoming project.
Well, Nolvaris, as mentioned, we will be looking to do local trade to allow everyone to work on their projects. So it wouldn't be confined to the ship lab if you prefer the capital facilities.
I'm not sure how much interest I have in staying in this city.
All right. Well, the ship spell lab was always at your disposal.
I wonder, is there a future where we don't return back to this place? Or is this just your home away from home?
For the foreseeable, I suppose it is.
Nia is not looking like this is her home away from home. I'm gonna tell her that much. Alright. I'm gonna go talk to Naya.
Okay. You find her.
Hey.
Hello.
Hey there.
She shows you around the little place that she's been given.
Nice.
So what's the plan?
That's what I'm trying to figure out. Escaping here is trivial, but somewhat dangerous. Issue is, as I'm sure you've noticed, we really can't take those fuckers. And I did not think they would hold a child hostage. In fact, I had assumed that we would come here, tell them about the risks of the plane, and they were gonna go, no, that sounds awful, let's not do that. Darling, I think I might be naive.
You threatened them to their face. Yeah.
I did not...
When we go after someone, we kill them. We do not threaten them.
My objective was never to threaten. I was making note of, I suppose, of the fact that they had pretty implicitly threatened us from the moment we came to them. They were never going to allow us to have that trade from the moment we came to them. It is too valuable to them.
We will make them
That
pay.
That is what I was trying to imply with the whole thing about leverage, that there was nothing we could do to change their minds. The moment they said, we are going to have this, they were going to have this. What can we do about that? They took it as a threat because they already wanted us to have us under their thumb for this. I just did not think they would descend to such a low. Kidnapping of a child is vile. The taking of a hostage like this is vile. That they did this to my family is unforgivable. I am sorry. I expected too much of them. I genuinely thought that they would see the things the way we did. And when I figured that they didn't, I thought that they would make their station known. That they would make the fact that were not going to allow us to have this known. I did not expect them to resort to such a pathetic, wretched thing. Though perhaps I should have. This is a human nation.
She frowns slightly at that statement.
Oh, I do not mean to have anything against humans as a species, but...
I am not human, I do not care.
But?
It is unlike you.
Yes, well...
I do not like this about you.
The first time was tortured for looking wrong. It was in a human nation. The first nation I see taking a child as a hostage is a human nation. It was not even led by them, but nonetheless, I must wonder if they're not being taken advantage of, like the elves and Alar said. But you are right. Perhaps it is simply nations that are like this. Oh, how I hate. So how do you want to solve this? What is your
That is a
end
good
goal?
question. I want our child back.
Yes. And I believe we can arrange for that. I am worried, but not so much that I would risk their life. It is merely a matter of how we are going to do about this. Also, do presume that everything we are talking about right now is being listened to.
I am.
Wonderful. It is a terrible evil thing that they are doing. I won't say surprised, but I expected more. And I am sorry that you were dragged into this. Now, we want the child back. And I'm assuming we want both of you to be free with us in the ship. Together. Alright.
She doesn't really have much to say. There's not much she feels like she can say without risking something.
I have a few ideas. I need you to promise me to stay safe.
I can promise this.
Stay away from the Mind Flayer. Away from any of them. If... No, there's another if. When we are both together here again, I hope I will have a permanent solution, but if I do not, you may go with them and I will stay. I will not allow this to last for the 10 years. They will not have my child hostage for a tenth of their life. The earth will be salted, I promise you. Do you think you're capable of training your child?
I will make a warrior out of them.
Good. I do not believe this will come to be a necessity. It will not allow them for them to be here for long enough. But I'm assuming that starting early is important, right?
She nods.
Then that is the part I'm gonna have to trust you with. They will not be here for the majority of their life like they want them to be, but for that time, I'm trusting their education to you. For you are a fearsome warrior than I. For now. And once we escape, and we will, I need you to understand this, for there's not a world in this sphere in which we do not escape from this. Will rain upon them whatever hell you wish. is a vile thing they're doing. She repeats this again because she is like actually genuinely appalled. Beyond just the anger of, oh my fucking god, it's my child, there's a level of genuine horror at the willingness to do this. Alright, we will be staying here for a month. We can use this time to scout for things.
And then what?
Then a final decision will be made. Anything we do now is, well, valid, still shackled by our limited perception of events. I am. She purses her lips a bit. She's upset enough that her form is kind of changing between like 5 or 6 different things. I apologize. I do not have a perfect solution, but I will find one. I cannot settle, as you know. And you are the most important thing to me.
She nods.
He holds the Naya's face and kind of touches foreheads with her.
Will you kill them all?
If that is your desire.
Hold up, I've got to compose myself. Not just the men, but the women and the children too.
No, no way. Did you say that?
Yes, she does say that.
I don't believe there are any children amongst them.
I'm not talking about just their leadership. I'm talking about every heart that beats here.
You believe them all to be corrupted?
I believe our family to be more valuable than all of them, and for there to even be a small risk that they might come after us. Kit Kat, enough. For there to be even a small chance that they're going to come after us, we must make it never occur. And
but
death
I do
is
not
insurance.
believe that to be. Not in this world, but I understand your point, and I will consider it.
She nods.
Again, do not get close to Mind Flayer. Do not get close to any of them. Do not allow them in your house. Do not allow them near you or the child, if you can avoid it. They are vile, honorless creatures.
She nods in agreement.
Right, we ball. He's gonna go back to the ship for a bit.
Alright.
What about everyone else? What are you doing?
I'm going to start organizing construction of the house on the plot of land.
All right. How much do you want to spend?
What would be the cost to reconstruct the house in the same manner that it was before? Like the same size and style?
1,300-ish gold. And that'll take about 12 days.
What's... Okay. What level of house can I put on this plot of land?
How much do you want to spend?
Well, Kevin has 55,000 gold available.
We will be putting the 15,000 towards the house, I think.
So given how they price things here, James, how much would it cost? What level of house can I put on the land?
Well, for 15,000 plus the 50,000?
Okay, so we can get to those numbers. Okay, good to know.
You can get probably close to the 2 million mark.
Got it. Then I would like
what you
to
would do
confer
with a $2 million house, I don't know.
Yeah, I would like to confer with the others, let them know that rebuilding the house as I had it before would be about 1,300.
Example, for about 120,000, you could have a skyport for your ship.
Okay.
How many? For this
120,000?
Oh.
And that's in addition to nearly 40 floors for the house.
That's a very big plot of land we have.
No, it's a very tall house.
But I mean, a tall... Well... Can we do a little less floors and still have the port?
Yes, you could probably get it as low as 20, but higher is better. 40 floors gives you 2 rounds of combat before it falls and crashes, if it falls.
We could just fill it up like Minecraft style.
That's what it's sounding like. I think that's way too excessive. My own, just from my own input.
Yeah, but it would be really funny.
Kevin?
To say again, Sam.
Has that ever stopped Kevin? Something's too excessive?
Yes. Like, literally all the time.
Well, why don't we start on it and maybe we put the skyport in later.
So, input from the others. How big or fancy of a house do we want here? Like, James, what was
when
the
you
rough
decide
size
this,
of
it's got to be
1,300?
decided beforehand because the bottom floors need to be made strong enough to handle the top.
Well, what if we make a few bottom floors very well? Or we go for the cheap house and then redo it completely. That's my 2 suggestions.
James, how big was the 1,300 house? Like, how many floors did it have?
It had 3 floors and a total of 34 rooms.
Yeah,
That's including
fine.
a basement, though.
That can comfortably house literally everyone on the ship, right?
Yep, everyone on the ship had...
Cool, yeah.
So why don't we, same kind of size and style of house. Is there any, like, cost adjustment for making it stronger at withstanding disaster like what struck it the first time?
So the materials...
I know it was burned intentionally.
The material resistances play a heavy factor in what size categories they can be. For example, if you want... It needs to have like a hardness of 25. So the rebar in the actual construction design needs to be 25. A hardness of 25. Sorry, hardness of 8 for anything that's 5 floors or smaller. And for anything above 10 floors, you pretty much need adamantine and dark steel.
Is there any kind of practical reason why we would need the adamantine or dark steel for a 3-story house like this?
None. I can't justify that.
Okay.
Really, you could just want it for fanciness.
No, that's not Kevin's way.
But your oath, Kevin, you're oath bound to be as fancy as possible.
That's true. I forgot it said that. Never mind.
You have to be posh and speak in a British accent to go.
No. That was Jeffrey, not Kevin.
I'm sorry.
How could we forget that? Inconceivable.
I know. Let's do the 1300. Just rebuild the old house.
Okay. So that's going to take between 8 and 11 days.
That's fine. Kevin will just help them build it. Or at least move materials around. Because he's not a crafter.
Sure.
He's not?
He's not.
Sabo. Everyone else just kind of following in his footsteps.
Okay. So once the reconstruction's underway, what's everyone going to be doing?
Nia is gonna come back from her spot with Naya, and she's gonna go to her room in the ship.
You see some of your baby's toys there.
Spectacular.
Okay. So what next, people?
Navaris begins training to take level 14. Otherwise, I got nothing else right now.
All right. And everyone else?
I'm gonna go talk to Yami.
Okay. How sure are you that you want to do that?
Isn't she always with me?
Not always.
Where is she then?
She hides in a necklace. And that's what she is currently doing right now.
I cannot force her to come out, so I will
That's
not
not true.
wait for her to...
You're fully capable of forcing her out.
I cannot ethically force her out. She is a magical item, but she is also a sentient creature, and as such, she deserves the few freedoms I can grant her. My utter rage does not diminish the fact that she deserves that.
Okay.
So I wait. And I am going to go be with Naya. Or alone in the ship looking out.
Okay.
Or locked in my room. That is what she's doing.
Okay. Sabo.
So have there's a few things I want to do. First thing, question. You know how in Elgara they have the kind of the small robots that help them do menial tasks?
Automatons, yes.
Yep. And they like are powered by whatever. Does creating a set of these automatons reduce the time it takes to craft, essentially? And
By up to 10%, yes.
I'm imagining not just to craft by up to 10%, but when you do the Elgaran type of craft, which is a meticulous redoing of shite, would they be even more effective?
So automaton assistance is a 10% boost. 10% reduction in crafting. I would presume that will be applying even for Elgaran crafting.
No, what I mean is, does it apply for automaton? What?
There's only so much that an automaton can actually do in the process because there's a lot of personal adjustments. An automaton does the same thing, exactly the same, every time for the situation that it's designed for.
Right. Well, what I'm saying is in Elgaran Craft, there's a lot more rituals. Like cleaning those vial extra properly in the exact correct way.
Yeah.
Something that an automaton can do.
Yep, the automaton can handle that sort of thing for you. So instead of you spending 10 times as long on that aspect, it's handling that while you're spending 10 times as long on the other 90%.
Okay. So it's still just 10%. Okay.
I might allow for there to be a feat for mastery of those things that might double or even triple that reduction.
Okay. I am going to, and have I managed? Did I have enough remaining time? Because I had like some days left over to set up the Elgaran chemical forge thingy that allows to recraft.
You've got the chemical forge set up.
Loss. Okay, cool. In that case, I'm gonna begin setting up some automatons to help me with things like just with the crafts that I do for us, the trap crafts, and particularly my next craft for the team, I guess, is a staff funnel. It's kind of project 1 is setting up automatons. Project 2 is, for now, it's research into Quaith, Godwood, and Quaith and Godwood. Yeah. God's Banewood. I need to figure these two materials out before we proceed with crafting.
Okay.
And in a month or so, or when everything settles down, we'll take the ship looking for our trading partner town.
Just grabbing the God's Banewood description for you.
How long will it take to get to get enough experimentation with Quaith and God's Banewood? Get their properties?
Even after substantially experimenting quite a bit with Quaith, you're still struggling to find what it's good at. It is worse than everything at everything, as far as you can tell.
Perfect.
God's Banewood, on the other hand,
is wood with fucking Godbane in its name, so.
What is Quaith particularly bad at?
it's not particularly bad at anything.
It's just a little bit bad at everything.
Being helpful.
It's particularly bad at having people believe in it as a useful material.
I still believe.
You believe in the Heart of the Cards. Sabo believes in Heart of the Cards.
Believe.
They're going to draw them.
I believe.
Oh man.
I'll find out what it does.
I have faith in you. Because the material surely doesn't.
The material doesn't have faith in itself. It's given up.
Same material, same. Never thought I'd relate to a piece of metal so much.
Not even good at being a metal, from what I hear.
That's kind of impressive, honestly, not gonna lie.
Okay, all weapons, armors, and shields crafted with this would gain a magical trait. Grants a +1 circumstance bonus against magic to creatures touching it. If you critically fail a spell against a spell while wearing / wielding it, you take 1d6 mental damage. On weapons, as a reaction, when a creature casts a spell within 60 feet targeting you, you can make a ranged strike or a melee strike against it. If your attack roll exceeds the DC of the spell or the attack roll, you counteract the spell, granting you one spell slot, granting you a spell slot equal to the spell or one level below. On a critical success, you gain a temporary spell slot equal to the same level of a spell. Failure, no effect. Critical failure, you're stupefied for 2 rounds. Armor.
That's really good.
As a reaction, you can reduce the damage by 2 times the armor's item level. This only works against spells and other magical effects. Shields. Active action uses 1 action. Raise a shield until your next turn. You gain resistance to magical damage equal to the shield's hardness. If a spell would damage you, after you apply the resistance, you can expend the shield's HP to reduce the damage further. That's shield block. Reaction, absorb magic. You can use your shield to block against a spell. If the shield survives, roll a DC 20 flat check. On a success, regain 1 focus point or 1 first level spell slot, assuming you have a open spell slot.
Okay.
I'll post that in chat in a second.
Yep. Fantastic. So I am definitely making us all weapons, and I guess maybe a shield for Kevin.
Sweet, cool stuff. That was a lot of stuff you said. I need to read it, but yes.
The shield doesn't sound all that much better than a standard shield, I'm gonna be honest.
Okay. And I'll start with the weapons.
Like absorbing magic is nice and all, but Kevin doesn't have really a good usability for recovering the spell slots or anything like that.
Also,
you get focus point back. Focus.
Yeah, I heard the focus point as well.
That is only on 5% chance, though.
Yeah.
So you gotta roll 20 out of 20 to regain it.
Yeah, it's a DC 20 flat check on a D20.
Oh, wow. Okay.
For what Kevin does, just a dark steel shield or something like that eventually would be far better.
Okay. No, it's not like we have enough of it to make a bunch of big shields anyway. In Alvarez, do you use staffs? Or would you prefer a wand?
A staff is actually quite useful to me. I can actually spend the time and resources to turn it into a personal staff and actually charge it with magic to be used in the field. Something that doesn't actually expend my daily allotment of magic.
Okay. I need to wait to see how many. Yeah, I'll craft one. Yeah. I guess it'll be done by next time when I know all the data.
Yeah, for sure.
It'll be either +4 or +5.
All right, it is almost 1 o'clock. I am going to pack up. Can't wait
Bye-bye.
for when Sabo needs his adjustment.
Yeah, I think that's going to be next week.
I think that's
right?
next week.
Next week, yep.
All
Yep.
right, that'll be good.
Okay. Yeah, 1 hour earlier from next week, if everything's all right with everyone, would be good.
Yeah,
Yep.
that'd be awesome.
Okay, we'll do it then. I'll post the timestamp.
Okay,
Really
cool. Good night, everyone.
Take care.
Bye-bye.
Okay.
Sorry, one thing before I go. Can you review this stuff whenever you get a chance, James? As a
Yep.
reminder.
I already started looking at it.
All right, I'll see you guys then. Bye.
Okay. The other thing was quarks. And what was the... Sorry, not quarks. Quite? What was the other thing that you were doing? Quite?
I just for now. Like well, how long time are we putting in right now?
It's up to yous.
Well, yeah, I'm just wondering how long is everyone assigning right now? Like I'm gonna take Tyranian from what I hear Nilvarius, and we're going to go and find the town with Shade's paladin in charge.
Alright.
And just do some trading here and there while we are working on the downtime.
I think it's mostly the total downtime is going to come down to when we figure out where we can find the creatures that we need and how long it takes to get there and whatnot.
Yeah, so basically we're doing kind of the trading and blood gathering until we figure out where to look for these creatures.
Alright.
And after that, after that we'll reassess what we're doing.
And then James, in between working on Kevin's house, I'm also going to go check in with Yesla and see if she wants help cleaning up her house.
She's happy with how it is. She likes her house. What's wrong with it?
Just the plants are all over. I didn't know if that's how you wanted it to be.
Are you saying she's not taking good enough care of her house?
Oh, shots fired. Oh, Kevin.
I mean, I'm certainly not one to talk, considering mine was reduced to ash, but it was non-traditional is all. I was just checking.
Well, you know, Kevin, all of these plants, they really suffer when people are constantly cutting them up all the time. And it's not like they can defend themselves.
All right, fair enough.
How does Kevin feel about plants now?
Yeah, it's gonna make him reevaluate some things.
Oh fuck. Can't stand Kevin to chop wood anymore.
Vegan Kevin, no.
Not even vegan! He's gonna eat rocks!
Yeah, what's that one? I need that boon.
Dirt Eater?
Yeah, that one.
That's mine.
I need it.
Fucking bad.
But think of all of the Earth!
Oh no.
Yesla taking the piss.
Oh, I hate Yesla so much.
He's doing God's work.
What's fucking with Kevin?
Yeah.
She fucks with Kevin and just fucks Kevin, period. It's incredible.
I mean, this
Call
is
it a
the only
multitasker.
way it's to let to teach Kevin over time. That not everything is absolute.
What is he? What's gonna happen to him? He's gonna break his oath again?
Only breaks his oath if he thinks he breaks his oath. So once he fucking learns that not everything is absolute, he'll be fine.
Unless his oath makes him have to treat everything as absolute.
Then he
No.
fucked himself really bad.
Only a Sith deals in absolutes.
Or Kevin.
I knew it. I knew it.
You knew Kevin was a Sith?
All along. We've been playing us for absolute fools.
I thought you said only I deal in absolutes.
Eh.
Are you now saying you are absolute?
Okay,
James.
so I think that's a good spot to end the session for this week.
Why did my weapon turn red?
Feel free to